And I think we are now back to Wake Up Woodward. It is time for an extended mailbag segment, Wake Up Woodward mailbag segment presented by the Feldman Automotive Group. And one thing that I keep seeing in the chat here, and I've seen it kind of throughout, which is interesting now. See, we cover the Pistons, and we try to make sure that we have people up to speed with what's going on in that world as well. And guess what now? Through over 25% of the season, we still have playoff Pistons. And not just playoff Pistons, but we also have a Pistons team right now that, let's break this down as it relates to the in-season tournament. Last year I thought it was stupid. This year they have a chance to go to Vegas, and I want it. I want all of it. And if they win tonight, let's just be for real, they are in. Right now they currently sit at 10th place in the East, which gets them into the play-in. Like I said, they're through over 25% of their season. They are winning 41% of their games. That is a far cry from the historically bad seasons they've had the previous two. And they've done, some of those losses came without Cade Cunningham as well. Yeah. They also got a dub with them. I believe that this is going to be a squad that, like I said, at the end of the day, make the actual playoffs. I believe that play-in is effectively becoming their new floor based off what we're seeing. Every team listed in the play-in right now has 9 wins. Every single one. All 4 of them. That's what I'm saying. And in Brooklyn behind them has 9. After that, 6 wins or lower. So they have their work cut out for them ahead of them. Right now, they have an opportunity to move on to the Vegas round of the Emiratis NBA Cup with a victory tonight over the Milwaukee Bucks. I saw it earlier in the chat. I am so sorry that I don't remember it, but he said it best. Body bag Lopez. Oh my gosh, you cannot. I expect Giannis to go off tonight. I expect it. But you cannot let everybody else, especially those ones that have been longtime Pistons killers, continue to do this. When we're talking about, you know what, this squad developing an identity, go out there right now and start to be those narrative busters. Go out there tonight, punch your ticket to Vegas. Go out there and make sure that Lopez is not a factor tonight,
yes,
man.
Please.
Like, please. Because I feel like they're going to have a good performance tonight. There are people already online talking about they're actually going to get down there to try and support them. We already see Ashton the Trainer online. Shout out Ashton the Trainer and co. They're out there talking about, you know what? Pack LCA out tonight. I already saw the dignitaries are going to be in the building tonight, too. So it's like, it's going to be a good night. I want to see this squad go out there and handle business. And honestly, I remember when they introduced it and had Cade Cunningham walk out on stage, and then we went on like a 28-game losing streak. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
This year, because I remember the talk around, Cade Cunningham is the future of our game and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, man, our guy's really the one out here on the stage. As one of the guys introducing this tournament, and they got washed. This year, Cade said they want it. They want it.
Why not?
They want this.
Why not? They've already won all their games in NBA Cup play so far, and this is another great opportunity. The Milwaukee Bucks have somewhat quietly looked to have turned their season around, which is they started off really, really slow. Giannis is obviously having an MVP caliber year. Dame Lillard is playing well as well. They look to fit better as the season has gone on, but you mentioned Brook Lopez. One thing that we know for sure, even if Brook Lopez does play well, JB will give him no credit. That man is a generational Brook Lopez hater. But here's the reality. This is where the Pistons have an opportunity. And this is the unfortunate state of the recent history of the Pistons, but it's also an golden opportunity, as I said before. The burden of proof is on the Pistons when it comes to Brook Lopez. They need to find a way to make sure Brook Lopez doesn't go off. And I honestly, when I look at it logically, I have my doubts if they can.
Back from injury, let's just make sure that this guy can be healthy enough to give us as many impactful games as possible. And I do believe that this one tonight is one of those impactful games.
Yep.
One other little bit of news.
JB Smooth in the chat, fuck Brook Lopez. With trash can emojis.
Another thing that was interesting, and I said this in the beginning of the year, I thought that the trade candidate was going to be Isaiah Stewart. I don't want that because I believe his identity and what he brings to the table is official. But if you guys have seen, if you've seen the rumors are now that the Detroit Pistons are actually open to listening to offers for and putting him on the trade block for Isaiah Stewart.
What if you get an offer you can't refuse?
Hey,
I understand. I want to keep Isaiah Stewart as a Pistons fan, but he's becoming you can name almost, I mean, even like the Milwaukee Bucks could use an Isaiah Stewart. The Celtics, I mean, imagine how formidable the Celtics would be.
Mavericks,
Golden State, yeah, Mavericks,
that's the team
certainly.
They got a couple bigs that I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
But
we can do something.
Do you benefit more from having a beef stew on the team, or do you benefit more from maybe sending him in the ethos and you get a backup point guard? Because that's the biggest need right now to me.
Great question.
But that's the thing. We're losing so much of what we need as it relates to that tenacity in the paint.
Yeah, that's
Duren
true.
has to be that guy, and Paul Reed, who I like, has to prove he can be that guy with increased minutes and increased role.
Right.
They need a point guard bad. And right now, I don't see anybody on just the waiver wire unless people want a rerun of, I'm not even going to say KH's name.
No,
former
God,
number 7.
no.
Nobody wants that rerun. That's what I'm saying. So right now, if you know you need a backup point guard back, because they don't just need a backup point guard, they need a facilitator even in the games that Cade is playing in. They just need another one.
Yeah.
We've been stating that for a few years now, and we saw how much it helped. Everywhere Chris Paul went, those other facilitators on the team and the other shooters on the team, all of their stats went up. And so that's why I'm just like, you know what? If it's to get in a bona fide backup, not just a Corey Joseph type, I'm talking about, we look at Isaiah Stewart as somebody part of this core, somebody who's making a sure difference every night and a part of where we thought they can go in the future. I'm hoping it's a backup point guard that can be a part of that same structure.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm about to say this.
Ooh.
And I'm starting something that probably isn't the best to start right before the show's over. Would Killian Hayes help this team?
Yes.
No. No.
Like
6'5".
I was the biggest Killian Hayes. We've had arguments about him.
6-to-1 turnover ratio.
Yeah, but listen,
Shooters on the team.
His offense is what brings him down. Defensively, he ain't the worst thing in the world, but your backup point guard gotta be able to score, man. It's just it is what the NBA is right now. Is he a solid distributor? Yes. Does he play solid defense? Yes. But I mean, you might as well just keep trying Marcus Sasser out there if that's the case, man, and just live and die with that.
It's the defense that in the facilitation. Those are the components of it. I will say this. The team that the Pistons have right now is so much more best suited, and the organization in general, for Killian Hayes and Andre Drummond, who were failed, in my opinion, by unstable organizations and unstable leadership and unstable veterans.
Yeah.
You had Blake Griffin on his way out. You know what I'm saying? And this thing was all on Killian Hayes. What are you going to do? This is the first pick of and it just didn't work out for him. It just didn't. I don't think that it was the right setup for those guys. It's like today, if I could bring those guys, Killian Hayes on draft night here to this squad, Andre Drummond when he reached his peak to this squad, absolutely.
I'm good on Killian.
Wrong time, wrong place.
And I don't blame.
Bring me Tyus Jones or something.
I don't blame you, KG. And trust me, I'm saying this very reluctantly. Yeah, right.
Just bring me Brandon Ingram.
Yeah,
What
please.
up, brother?
No, I was just saying that I was saying that very, very reluctantly. Do I necessarily want Killian Hayes on this team? No, but we're talking about backup point guard. You mentioned someone with the initials of KH, and I'm like,
That's about I'm gonna look at the people that are free agents still and see if there is somebody worth just taking a flyer on. But the last time I looked, I didn't see anybody. I'm like, you know what? That's the one you take a flyer on. It all just felt like old, like Kojo type deals. And that's where it's like, yeah, we're going to have to search out the trade market. There are several point guards that have come up in some rumors.
To be honest, I'd take Ben Simmons over Killian Hayes, bro. To be honest.
Ben Simmons would help this team.
I would take Ben Simmons over Killian Hayes.
He would help this team.
I would take
now.
Markelle Fultz right now.
I would too.
Yeah.
Just imagine if Killian came back to this team. Koo Cahill.
Shout out Koo.
Shout out
Koo. That man would have a generational erection. I would just say that.
You know what? We got some time.
Can't believe I just said that.
Yeah. Let's talk about the other man's erection.
He said, look, man, we got to have another big musket on the way. Hey,
boom.
Shout out to Ryan Romani. He's up here on Fox too, man.
out.
Shout
Hey,
out to
shout
Ryan
out
Romani.
Ryan.
But let's get into a couple of these Feldman mailbag questions as well. If the refs weren't on Mahomes' payroll, what would the Chiefs' record be right now? That is from your friend Shad. We had to kick it off that one.
When you got a Brook Lopez or, Gary Trent. I can see Gary Trent going off tonight. Like, you can't allow the role players to go off for the team, man. Giannis going to get his, though. It is what it is. But I just need to see better defense in the pick and pop, and I think they'll be okay, man. So, Jalen Duren, I think this is a Jalen Duren game tonight. We got to see it.
It has to be. It has to be. Alan W. Feldman Mailbag. I just want to tell the chat to get down to LCA tonight. Most meaningful game in years tonight. Also, Kool-Aid, can I count on you to start MVP chants when Cade is in at the free throw line? You know, I can't do that for media.
Right.
But for Cade, sometimes I be feeling like just MVP real quick, but I can't do it. Pistons PR sits right there with us. So they'll just come up and be like, Kool-Aid, hand us the credential, bro. But you know what? I might still. I'm going to tell the people sitting next to us, like, MVP.
Right.
We'll definitely get that going. But we got a couple more here. Freddie Felt 313.
Shout out.
Do you foresee the race to clinch the NFC North to culminate in the final game versus the Vikings? Or will we get the chance to clinch early and rest starters?
God, that's so tough. I don't know how the tiebreakers would play out because they each have a win against each other. I think it's too early to tell. I would probably say that it's more likely that the Pistons can rest their starter. I mean, the Lions can rest their starters, but the Vikings, they've got some winnable games coming up as well.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, brother?
Yeah, I'm with Sam. It's too early to tell.
It's too early to tell. It's gonna, in my opinion, it just depends on what the Vikings do or don't do. I believe the Lions are gonna continue to be a squad that wins, and they're gonna continue to set the pace ahead of them. And so, ultimately, it's what the Vikings do, in my opinion. I believe the Lions are gonna continue to hold serve. James, I like this one. Feldman Mailbag. What item was bussing the hardest at your Thanksgiving meals last week?
I mean, I'm a turkey and a roll. That's what I do.
Yeah.
All meat, no sides.
My sister made a mean pot roast, man. Shout out Tammy. I love you, man. She made a mean pot roast and potatoes. I was digging in.
Kvasia, did you have anything special for Thanksgiving?
I had to work, but my dad came over and brought some hamburgers over for us.
Shout out
That's what's
Chase's
up,
Pops, man. We got to meet him last week, too, man. He was real cool. So
That's what's up.
yeah.
That's what's up. I actually started my day with burgers as well that day. Got in doing all the other duties we had for Thanksgiving because obviously it's family time for everybody else. But we know in our world there's a whole lot more behind the scenes in sports and socials that we got to get to.
Yeah.
And then after that, though, wifey threw down. I love her yams. Yes, both of them.
You get to the
Say!
games.
You stupid.
Hell yeah, Kool-Aid.
Hey, let me get another mailbag. Dante151 $9.99 super chat. What's probably on the Woodward Sports whiteboard is 42-27, 45-23, 30-24, and 13-10. If you know, then you know. Also, Michigan Purple could be a code name for J.J. McCarthy, and also go Pistons.
Hey, that was a good catch by you on purple being JJ McCarthy. But I'll tell you what, if that was on our whiteboard, I think Anson would spontaneously combust. So it can't be on our whiteboard because we have too many Sparties in the house, which is fine. Shout out guys like Spencer Raxter and Anson.
313 Thug Boss. His Michigan sports history. He has Dan Campbell. He has Chuck Daly #1, Dan Campbell #2. All-time coaches. In Detroit sports
Scotty
history.
Bowman.
Doesn't he have to win ring? Yes.
Yeah,
Scotty
gotta win
Bowman.
a ring.
I mean, Larry Brown
Yeah.
wasn't here long.
Yeah.
But we know that he made a difference for that team.
Yeah.
I'd probably even put Sparky ahead of him right now, just for now.
Yeah. Dan Campbell was definitely top 10.
For sure.
If he wins a ring, he shoots to the top of the list.
Definitely. What about you, Kvasia Chase?
Yeah, I'd probably put Scotty Bowman at the top of the list. I mean, he's got the most rings. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the Red Wings are our most accomplished team.
Yeah.
So
Scotty Chuck?
Yeah.
Scotty and then
I
Chuck.
think they're
Sparky?
interchangeable. Larry.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's just like the conditions that they faced. The Pistons had to get it out the mud.
Yeah.
The Red Wings did in a capless era. And I'm not gonna cry about it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say sorry about it, not apologizing about it. They did work.
Yeah.
They did what they're supposed to do.
Yep.
In the Detroit market. So let me see if there's any other good ones here. Chuck Brewer, Kool-Aid is that smoke from the league or the Pistons? Woodward Pistons. What does he mean? Is that smoke? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got a mail back from somebody in here. Lost the name. Sorry about that. But it is Cade. Do we got any news on Cade? Is he playing tonight?
He's supposed to be playing. We didn't get an official word yet.
Okay.
But he's not listed as a player that we like doubtful or anything of that nature. So
Okay.
he's supposed to be playing.
That's good.
I'm sitting here trying to see if there's any other ones. Michael Danye from a mailbag. Is this the first time the Lions will sweep the NFC North? We'll end it on that one.
F it. Yes.
I
Why
want to
not?
see them do it.
Why
like
not?
that. I want to see them do it. I keep saying the only way I can see them not doing it is if they treat that last game, even if they have the division sewn up, you have a chance to sweep the division. I don't know how football players look at that stuff. I don't know how Dan Campbell looks at that stuff. I would assume keeping the team as healthy as possible matters. But we saw them last year play players in those types of games, and people are like, oh, Sam Laporta shouldn't have been playing. See? So it's like we've seen them kind of already say, you know what, we're going to play our guys in every one of these games that we can, even if we reduce their minutes. So that's going to be an interesting one.
Yep.
Is that a show?
It's a show.
I think so, man.
Man, Pistons, get this thing done. Get to Vegas. Vegas has been awesome the last couple of years for Summer League. To see them there, like in their actual Pistons uniforms, on the main stage, showing that they have arrived, I do believe that that's a good thing. They're still in playoff positioning. They're in a mix of teams right now. So I want to see this Pistons team start to separate themselves. Why? Because they cost themselves. They should not even be in this mix. The Pistons right now, in my opinion, should have about 11 wins and be firmly in that 5th or 6th place right now, which is crazy to talk about. But you know what? They got a whole season to sort this stuff out. They got to prove that this early season is not just a flash in the pan. They got to prove once they get over 14 wins and over 17 wins that they haven't done anything yet, even though it's more than the last couple. They got to get and push to 30. They got to push to where some of these people want to see them get to the 35 and the 40. And I think that they got the recipe for that. They just have to go out there and continue to get it. I believe in Trajan. I believe in Brad. In JB. So
Brad
I
too.
always believe in Brad. So, hey, you know what? Let's get this going.
Clean.
Hey, that's a show.